Good morning to you all. Trish here. It's Friday, April 12th, 2024. Today we're going to talk about dried fish importation. It's an area of opportunity if you know what you're doing and if you can make it work. I experimented with importing dried fish from Nigeria for commercial purposes about 2 years ago. And I will tell you why I stopped doing it. But just because it did not work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. As of yesterday, I can say for a fact that dried fish in Las Vegas, Nigerian imported dried fish in Las Vegas is $22 a pound. That is 2.2 kg. It's $22 a pound. I'm talking of just normal dried fish that we eat in Nigeria. It's $22 a pound in the United States. Great area of opportunity if you know what you're doing and if you can import them, or if you're watching from Nigeria, export to buyers in the US. Retail price and that's the retail price, that's not wholesale. That's $22 a pound is what they are going for right now in Las Vegas, Nevada, United States. I'm pretty sure it's even higher in other places in the US. Just because something is profitable, and I'm backtracking here, doesn't mean it's the right business for you. When I experimented with dry fish 2 years ago, highly profitable, one of the largest profit margins. Crayfish comes second. But dried fish, we have one of the largest profit margins in dry fish. But you can get them relatively inexpensive. I was importing them directly from Maiduguri. In northern Nigeria, Borno State, Maiduguri. I'll fly them, ship the fish from Maiduguri to Lagos via air, package them in Lagos, and then export them into the United States. Highly profitable, great margin, excellent opportunity, but it just wasn't for me. I didn't like touching the fish. I did not like interacting with fish as much as I like interacting with crayfish. And just because it was profitable, with an exceptional profit margin, it just did not work for me. And that's one of the factors why I stopped. Secondly, in order for you to import or export Nigerian dried fish to the US, you're gonna have to go through not only the FDA, not only the USDA, that's the United States Department of Agriculture, you also have to go through a Fish and Wildlife Agency. These are the many, and it's very regulated. Fish, people don't realize how regulated fish is in the United States. So once you get past those agencies, considering your fish is, and I'm speaking specific to dried fish here. I don't know anything about frozen fish. I don't know anything about fresh fish. I'm talking about just dried fish here. So you have to go through an FDA clearance. You go through the United States Department of Agriculture clearance. And then you go through a Fish and Wildlife Agency clearance. What they are looking for is to ensure, number one, that you are in compliance as far as... Yes, Jeanette. What is she doing right now?
She came to me relaxed on me.
She's relaxing with you right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, once that is finished with this video, and I'm gonna have another cup of coffee, and then we can go, okay? Okay. Where was I? Yes. So they're looking for compliance. They're making sure that this fish is the kind of fish they say they are. And you also have to know the species of the fish you are exporting or importing from Nigeria. You can't just say dried fish. The species, you really have to be specific. For me, I was importing catfish, okay? Of all sizes, from small to large, processed in Maiduguri, dried out there, packaged and sent to me. Another thing too, that this is another factor too, I did not control the packaging the way I control the packaging of crayfish. Okay. I will probably say out of 10 fish that you'll get, 50% of them will come whole, the other 50% will come broken into pieces because of poor packaging. And the ones that are whole are usually, I mean, I'm telling you, these fish, they fly. As soon as I got them in, put them on Facebook, they were gone within like a couple of days. That's how in demand they are in the US. So try explaining to people, this one is broken into pieces. I have a whole piece. It was just it became a little bit too much, more than I was willing to invest time on in sorting out. So that's factor number 2. I didn't control the packaging from Nigeria. So if you're interested in something like this, that is one thing you also have to consider. Consider the species. Consider the packaging. Very, very important. If you're going to be, and another thing too is like the sizes are different. So are you going to be selling per size, or are you selling per whole? It became a little bit too much for me. Whereas with crayfish, we sell them by the ounce, which is very easy to measure, pack, seal, and ship to the customer. And we sell them pre-packaged too. So you got to consider these factors and complexities if you're going into fish exportation or fish importation into the United States. So once you've cleared compliance, and the fish is accepted into the United States, now how are you going to sell them to your customers? I use multiple. We are what I call platform agnostic, meaning anywhere that we feel that our customers are is where we'll go. So I advertised on Facebook, which has very minimal reach, but you're still gonna get sales on Facebook. And then I was selling them on Amazon. So with Facebook, you can sell directly to your customers. They'll wire the money to me on Zelle or PayPal or whatever platform. Once we've agreed on the quantity, not the quantity, once we agreed on the weight that they want, because it varies. If they say, give me 2 pounds of dried fish. Depending on the size and how broken they are, you just have to wait and send them 2 pounds worth of dried fish after you've been paid. So another platform that we were using at the time was on Amazon. It moved fast, like lightning fast. As soon as it was up, they were flying off the shelves. They were gone. But the issue now with Amazon is eventually they had to close that particular listing, because on Amazon you can't sell a specific type of fish, and in this case, catfish isn't allowed on Amazon. So the moment that Amazon shut that particular listing down in one of the fastest platforms for sales, now we had an inventory issue. It wasn't as if we weren't able to sell them on Facebook, but the velocity of sales on Amazon was much higher than the velocity of sales on Facebook. And with Facebook, you were constantly advertising, which I didn't like. With Amazon, it's just set it and forget it. Now we have this issue with inventory and to me, one thing about my business model is when something starts becoming complicated, especially something that I really don't like interacting with in the first place, that's usually a sign for me to shut down that particular category. So there was a little bit of complication now that we have all this inventory. Amazon is telling us we can't sell catfish on their platform, and Facebook was more of a constantly posting and reminding people that you have this particular product for sale. I decided that it was time to go, so I liquidated the remaining, which wasn't a lot, by the way. It wasn't a lot, but I ended up liquidating the remaining inventory at cost just to get them out of my facility. So I reached out to some family members there in the United States, and I just sold the fish to them at cost. And I was able to get rid of it and not have to deal with it again. And I shut down the whole thing. And that was my experience with dealing with importing catfish for sale into the United States. Again, it did not work for me with the factors that I mentioned, and I also did not like interacting with it. It was oily. Sometimes you would get the bones pricking you. It just wasn't for me. But I'm glad I was able to experiment with it so I can share this with you. And the reason why I'm sharing it with you is because yesterday I went to the Nigerian store to cook dinner for my family, and I saw the pile of dried fish. When I went to get it, I saw the price tag, $22 a pound. I had to reconfirm though with the seller to make sure that it was true. She basically just told me, yes, Rich, dried fish is expensive, very, very expensive. So it's an area of opportunity for you if you're interested in something like that. If you like interacting with fish. Now, I still bring in fish. I will still bring in fish occasionally from Nigeria just for personal consumption, but it's not something that I would ever import for commercial purposes ever again. We are very happy with the way our crayfish is selling right now. I will post the link in the description box and pin it. It's the link that's going to direct you to buy our crayfish on Amazon. We don't have a lot left. That's how well the crayfish is doing on Amazon. I just sent in a new batch the other day. I think right now we have 5 left on Amazon for sale. So I sent a new batch in. And that's the thing too about Amazon is you can just package your goods, send it to Amazon, and Amazon handles the fulfillment. So I'm going to leave the link for our American crayfish directly from my village, Korobuko, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. We buy them from Oron, which is about a 45-minute drive. So we are right there at the epicenter of crayfish. Yes, young lady. I'm almost done. Yes, you can have water. Share it with your sister, okay? So hope you find this informative. I'm gonna speak a little bit more about our crayfish. I know I've some videos on it on online that's up now. That's out a bit outdated. So I think I'm gonna put up a more updated video of our crayfish business for you guys to watch. But it's the most profitable product in our current inventory at the moment. We've limited everything down. We used to have like 21 something SKUs, 20 something, 20 plus SKUs on Amazon. We've limited them down to 4.